Alright, got another amp test. We'll be doing this Kicker KX1200.1. This amp is rated at 1200 watts at 1 ohm. Let's see what it'll actually do. Got my AMM1 here, my SMD DD1, and my amp lab. This is a resistive dummy load, if you haven't seen my videos already. I'm going to start this off with a 2 ohm test. I'm going to do certified, uncertified, and dynamic tests. I'm going to do 2 ohm because, I don't know, just in case you wanted to run this thing at 2 ohm for some reason. I can't go lower than 1 ohm. I wish I could test this thing beyond its limits and see what it does, but I can only do 1 ohm. Alright, I've got this thing tuned to just at the point of distortion, or just below the point of distortion at 2 ohm. Got my dummy load set up for 2 ohm. Go ahead and unpause the track. See what it does. So 666 watts. It's about right if it's rated at 1200 at 1 ohm. I mean, if you do the math, it's about half of that at 2 ohm, right? I know it doesn't always work that way, but that looks like what's happening here. So that was at 12.9 volts. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and retune this for a 1 ohm load and see what it will do. Alright, I've got this tuned for 1 ohm now. I'm going to do certified power at 1 ohm. So 864. Okay, so it doesn't do rated at 1 ohm, certified. So that's doesn't necessarily mean this amp doesn't do rated, because they might not have rated it at 1% distortion. So I'm going to go ahead and retune the amp with a bigger overlap and do some uncertified tests. And that was at 13.14 volts too. Alright, so this is uncertified 2 ohm test again. So 724 at 2 ohm at 12.73 volts. A little bit better. Alright, let's run this at 1 ohm. Okay, in case anyone's wondering, I am letting the amp cool down and the batteries recharge a little bit in between each one of these tests to try to make them as accurate as I can. So here goes a 1 ohm uncertified test. So 1037. That was at 12.11 volts. So a little bit closer to rated, still not quite. Hopefully it can make it on dynamic. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's try some dynamic tests here. Hopefully this thing will make some decent power on dynamic. So this is back at 2 ohm. Turn the amp on. And pause the track. So 833 at 2 ohm. at 13.5 volts. Alright, let me get the voltage back up here a little bit, and we'll try 1 ohm, and hopefully this thing will make its power. I have confidence that it will. I thought it would actually do a lot more than it's doing. I'm a little bit let down, but we'll see if it comes around in dynamic. Alright, here we go. 1 ohm dynamic. There we go. Alright, so 1258. Well, at least it did rated. I thought these things were powerhouses. All these years I thought these things were just total beasts. Apparently that's not really the case. They do rated, but just barely, and that's on dynamic. And that was 13.22 volts. So, like I said, a little bit disappointed. Not what I thought it was going to be. But still a good amp. Still passed. Alright, that's all for this time.